So are you on the hunt for a foundation that actually lasts on your oily skin? Well, so am I. I have oily skin, and in this series, I'll be testing out different foundations throughout the day and test how they work with my oily skin. Today, I'll be testing out the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. Hey guys, this is Sneha here at Beauty Lashes 19, helping you put your best face forward. Today I'm starting a new series on my channel and I'm super excited because this has been long overdue. It's a foundation series where I'll be reviewing different foundations that I have. Now, for reference, I'm an NC 40-42 skin tone in MAC foundations and I have oily skin tone, except in winter where it tends to get slightly more normal, I think, but still oily enough in my T-zone. So my plan is that I'll be testing different foundations and wear it throughout the day and let you know how it performs in terms of oil control and lasting on an oily skin type. Today I'll be testing the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. So let's get started. I've already gone ahead and moisturized my skin with the Ombre Lease Lake Cream Concentrate. For my eye cream, I've used the Ordinary Caffeine Solution 5% plus EGCG. And on my lips, I have the Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream as a moisturizer. And then I went over with the ColourPop Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade Doozy, which is one of my new favorites. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to review the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. I have the shade number 7 in this. And one thing to note with this foundation is that it really oxidizes badly. And I'll show you when I do the demonstration in a bit. But it has really bad oxidation, the worst that I've seen in all the foundations that I've tried so far. And I've tried quite a bit. So be careful when you select your shade. Wear it around for at least 5 to 10 minutes before you select a shade. So this foundation retails for $40 US and it comes in 24 shades. And I think that's a good shade range for a company to start off with a foundation. Now the packaging is really great. I really love this packaging. It has a tight close on the bottle, which I really like. So it's really travel friendly. It's not glass, it's plastic, but it has this metal finish on it. And it also has this symmetric cutouts. If I bring it closer. And it has an airless pump. And through these cuts, you can see how much of the foundation you've used up. So it's great for knowing when to repurchase the foundation. And the airless pump really helps in getting every last drop out of this foundation bottle, so which is excellent. And did I mention it comes with a pump? So that's the pump. I really like this metal finish and this cutout. It really looks edgy and pretty cool on the vanity. Now let's look at the claims of this foundation. It's supposed to be a full coverage foundation and it's supposed to contain 3 times more pigment than the Naked foundation series. And therefore they claim that 1 pump is more than enough to cover your entire face. It's supposed to be a waterproof formula. It's supposed to be oil-free, which is excellent for oily skin. And it's also paraben-free if that's a concern for you. It's supposed to have this modern matte finish, therefore it's not flat matte. And it's supposed to mattify and absorb the oil to reduce shine throughout the day. It's also supposed to be long lasting, so it's supposed to last probably all day, but doesn't claim how many hours, which was smart of Urban Decay, I think. And it's also supposed to diffuse light to blur imperfections. So we'll see, I have a ton of imperfections. We'll see if it blurs those. So yeah, those were the claims. Let's start. For primer, I'm going to use the Skindinavia Makeup Primer Spray, which is the oil control versions. This is already giving an advantage to all the foundations I use because this also helps in controlling the oil to some extent. And I'm planning to use the same primer and setting spray for all foundation reviews, just so it's consistent between the foundation reviews. So, as with typical foundation reviews, 1/2 of my face I'm going to use a brush, and I'm going to try and use the same brush for all foundation reviews. This is the Sephora VIB Rouge Pro Mini Flawless Brush, and there's 56.5 written on it, so maybe it's the number of the brush, but I'm going to try and use this same brush for all reviews. I'm going to use this on maybe my left side, and on my right side I'm going to use a Beauty Blender sponge. Now both these are clean, so they don't have any other product or foundation in them. Okay, so I've just stamped in the Beauty Blender sponge, and I'm gonna take a Bounty paper towel, I guess, and just squeeze out the excess water. You don't want the Beauty Blender sponge to be too damp because it's gonna soak up the foundation. I don't think this foundation needs a shake because it's quite thick and creamy. It doesn't even move inside when I do this, but it's just a good habit to shake up foundations. I'm going to take one pump. So that's what one pump looks like. All right, I'm going to start the side with the brush first. All right. It's going on very smoothly. Does seem to have some fragrance to it. So it may look light right now, but it's going to darken up with some time. And I forgot to mention I also had sunscreen before this, so I don't know if the white cast is because of the sunscreen or because of the foundation. So that's what the brush side looks like compared to the no foundation side. I do think it gave quite a bit of coverage. And I'm going to try and build on this area where I have some acne scarring still showing through. So still just used a very small amount of the foundation. Still have quite a bit to work with. I'm going to just dab it on these areas. I think I added a little bit more coverage, but doesn't completely cover the acne scarring. All right, for the Beauty Blender side, I'm not going to dip the Beauty Blender in here. I don't like it. I like to dot the foundation around my face and then go in with the Beauty Blender. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Just going to do these areas first before I apply to the for the forehead. I do think the side with the Beauty Blender gave more coverage, surprisingly, than the brush. Maybe because I used a small amount with the brush and really spread it out. So that's one layer with the Beauty Blender sponge compared to the brush side. I don't know if you can see on the camera the difference in the coverage, how the Beauty Blender side, I think, has slightly more coverage than the brush side. So I'm just going to go over the entire face now with the Beauty Blender sponge, and we still have a ton of foundation remaining, so I'm not going to use all of it. For me, I think personally half a pump was more than enough to cover my entire face. So I'm just going to make it uniform. And I do think it minimized my flaws, definitely because of the coverage, but also the pores. So I have large pores along the sides of my nose. I do think it made it less obvious, the pores. I'm going to see if it builds up as a concealer on these scarring. Just going in with my finger and dabbing it on. So it is quite buildable. This is one of the few foundations that I can wear on its own without spot concealing and be confident to walk outside. Wow, I do think this foundation is buildable. It's given me a flawless look, I think. Just going to come closer to the camera. Sorry, I have some foundation on my lips as well. Yeah, so that's what the foundation looks like. I have no idea why it's looking so ghostly on the camera. But I promise, in person, it doesn't look this washed out and crazy. I don't like this, the way it's looking on camera. Another thing I noticed is it's settling into my smile line, so I don't know if you can see it. Most foundations do that at the end of the day for me. They do settle into my smile lines, but this one seems to do it right off the bat. So I will pat the Beauty Blender on it before I set it with powder. Still have foundation remaining on my hand, so I used about maybe half of the foundation. I'm going to pump a drop right next to it so you can see how much it has oxidized. So hold on. So this is the foundation freshly applied, and this is once it's oxidized. So it changes quite a bit. Again, oops, freshly applied, and then once it's been on the skin for a while, it really oxidizes. And this is the shade number 7. So as you can see, once it's oxidized, oops, this one, it's close to my skin tone. And on the camera, I don't know why, certain pigments in the foundation sometimes show up ashy on camera. I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. So this is what the foundation looks like once I've finished all the other base makeup. I don't have anything on my eyes yet because I'm going to do the eyelash video, and I'm just going to set everything in place with the Scandinavia makeup finishing sprays, again the oil control version. I'm just coming close in so you can see how the foundation looks on my skin. I didn't use any highlighter in this particular look just because I didn't want the oil production or shine to be confused with the highlighter. So just whatever shine you see on my skin will be just whatever my skin naturally produces. So it's around noon here. I'll check back in a few hours. So this is how the foundation looks in natural sunlight. I'm standing right beside a window. So it doesn't have that ashy look that was showing up on the camera in the ring light setting. So I'm just going to come in closer so you can have a better look at the foundation. And I'll check back in a few hours. This is the 3-hour mark since applying the foundation. Come closer. So I'm getting a little dewy. I wouldn't call exactly shiny or oily, especially in my T-zone. In my chin, around this area, my nose, and then forehead. But otherwise, everything else looks great. The only thing I've noticed is that it's again settled into my smile lines. I'm going to try and dab on it with the Beauty Blender sponge and see if it goes away. So yeah, that did take care of it and I don't have it anymore. So it definitely blends back into the rest of the foundation. It hasn't come off of my nose, which is the #1 place where foundations come off. So at the 3-hour mark, I really like this foundation and it looks really good on the skin. Hey guys, this is almost the 6-hour check-in. Yes, I look different. I've removed the contact lenses since I'm done with the lash video, taken off the false eyelashes, and yeah, blotted some of my lipstick as well. So that's why the makeup looks different, but as far as the base goes, let's have a closer look. The foundation seems to be holding on really well. It's just a little shiny, again, not oily yet at the 6-hour mark. Mostly in my T-zone, the rest of the skin looks good, I think. I see some minor settling again into those smile lines, only on one side, not on this one. Or maybe there is some mild one. But I'm just going to let it be and see how it does, maybe in 2 to 3 hours from now. But so far, for my oily skin, I think it looks pretty good. I'll check back in a couple of hours or so for my last check-in. I'm also heading out for a walk with my dog, so it's going to be an interesting test to see if the foundation moves after the walk. I mean, I'm going to be walking for about 30 minutes and it's about, I believe, 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 26, 27 degrees Celsius. I feel like I'm doing the weather report or something. But I guess the temperature is important when considering what temperature this was tested in. So we'll see how it fares after a walk. So this is with natural sunlight. Again, as I said, it just looks nice and glowy in my T-zone, but nothing oily or too shiny. All right, guys, this is the 8.5 hour mark, and my skin is definitely oily, especially on my nose. But my cheek area looks great. My blush and contour look good. And the foundation hasn't rubbed off from my nose, even though my nose has become oily. So I'll come in a little closer to the camera so you can see better. So it's mostly oily, as expected in my T-zone. So what I'm going to do is use a blotting sheet and see if it just removes the oil or does it also take off the foundation. And can I get a few more hours out of this? Also, I do have that minor creasing in my fine lines or smile lines, I guess, but nothing too prominent. I can blend it in with my fingers or with the Beauty Blender sponge. One thing I do notice is that it's clinging to some of the drier patches around here. So I definitely don't see people with dry skin liking this foundation, or even people with normal skin. Because I think if you have any dry patches on your skin, this is definitely going to cling to it and exaggerate it. Now taking a blotting sheet. This is the one by NYX. You can see the oil coming out, and that just again leaves the skin quite matte, which is good. Now, having blotted, although it seems like there is some foundation on these blotting sheets, it doesn't seem like the foundation has left my face or skin, so that's good. So if I still had to go out after a day's work, I can just blot and add some powder, and I think I should be good to go. So I'm going to add some more of the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I could use some more lipstick, but I'm done with dinner and everything, so I'm ready to take all of this off and crash. So overall, I think this was a great foundation to start off the foundation series. I think this is one of the best foundations for oily skin, as long as you do the base right. So by that I mean, if I use an oil under this foundation, my skin is not going to look matte. It's going to have that luminous glow to it. So that's what I mean, prepping the skin properly. And also I think the weather matters a lot. Now, today's weather was not too humid or hot. It was under 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 26 degrees Celsius. So that's for reference. So if it's hot, I don't know how well my skin will do with the same foundation. So take it with a pinch of salt, but under the conditions that I did test, it lasted all day. And after blotting, the shine that was coming, it never looked too oily. So I definitely give this foundation, I almost want to give it a 10 out of 10, but because it didn't control the oil as much on my T-zone, maybe I'll give it a 9 out of a 10, which I think is excellent considering how oily my skin actually is. So question in this video is, what's your favorite foundation? Even if you don't have oily skin, mention your favorite foundations in the comment section below, so that my non-oily subscribers can also benefit. So really hope this foundation review was helpful and it helps you in deciding if you want to purchase this foundation or not. If you did find this review useful, please don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps in reaching a wider audience. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.